Oh man, I bit my lip and it really hurts to talk, so it's a good time to record a video. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin she killed my cats or killed my cat with her kids in the room? I don't know. Trigger warning, pet death. I can imagine. Update. Thank you for the hold on. I have a feel I don't need to be caught up. Let's read the OG story. My parents are currently going through a nasty divorce, and I now live with my dad and grandmother. Before my parents split, I had a wonderful cat named Buttons. Uh-oh. But my mother refused to let me take her with me. This was hard because I've had her since she was a kitten, and she was nearly 10. Ooh, good way to never be loved again, Mom. My parents' divorce has a lot to do with her side of the family, and we recently found out that she moved my Aunt Brenda, cousin Daniela, and her husband, and their 3 young kids in. My father is pretty upset about this because he is still paying most of the bills while waiting for the proceedings. Well, apparently Daniela's kids were being very rough with Buttons, and they, mostly her, decided she would be better as an outside cat. Dude, I don't know what it is. I've known someone that did this. I know somebody that had to watch a cat for somebody for 3 months because they were transitioning, and in 3 months, it was just 3 months, they had to watch the cat. The person, it was one of my friends, they told them, hey, do not let the cat outside. She is not an outside cat. She will most likely get lost. She's never been an outside cat. And they said this because they had an outside cat themselves. And they agreed. And he's like, hey, if you don't want to have a cat that's inside all the time, like you don't want to have, I don't know, maybe a litter box, even though they still had a litter box, that's fine. I'll try to find somebody else, but I just really would prefer that the cat not be outside. I can understand that because cats are really bad for like the ecosystem, man. And also some cats just aren't outside cats. You put them outside, some will be perfectly fine, some will be dead within the day. But I already have a bad feeling. I mean, obviously it's kind of easy to have a bad feeling when you read the title, but I found this out when I went to the home with my grandmother to get some stuff I left behind, and she was deceased near the road. Mm-mm-mm. Daniela's kids are being very rough with Buttons. Daniela, that's the cousin. Okay. I had to go back up and reread. Daniela, the cousin, and her husband's, she decided that the cat needed to be an outside cat. Oh my God. I'm going, if I know that legally murder is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but I am, if you want to hire me to do it, I'll do it. I would love to do this. I feel like you should be legally obligated to smack the shit out of anyone involved. And I'll gladly do it. I've been looking for excuses to slap the shit out of someone. A slap is a nice, like, it's not a punch. You know, you're not gonna break somebody's nose. You're not gonna knock them. Well, you might knock them out, but you're not gonna like dislocate their jaw or something. If you punch, well, you might. The point is, a slap is like a very quick reset button on the human brain. If you can just slap the ever loving shit out of somebody, it resets their brain. I feel like there's not enough people that have been slapped. And I'm just looking for excuses to really go at it because like it's been too long since I've been able to slap the shit out of somebody. Um and it's a rewarding thing. Um what are we talking about? Oh, yeah. I'm not proud to admit that I stormed into the home screaming, which is when I was told why she was outside. The entire family was at the table having lunch, and Brenda stood and started berating me for coming to her house with attitude. No, Brenda's the first one getting the shit slapped out of her. Brenda the aunt? I don't think so. An absolute just, I might as well pick her up and pile driver. You know what I mean? I'll slam her ass into the fucking table. I don't think so. Brenda, you're, watch your mouth, Brenda. Um, Coming into their house with an attitude. That's when I turned to Daniela and told her that she was the reason my cat was dead and that I hated her. Her kids started bawling as they apparently didn't know yet, and my mother kicked me out of the house and told me I wasn't welcome back. My grandmother went back in and collected my things for me. I'm still very much upset, but I'm also starting to feel awful for doing all that in front of the kids. They didn't do anything wrong, and I know I probably traumatized them with what I said. I'm still struggling hard, and this is just making it worse. I'll take whatever judgment you have. I just need an outside perspective. The fact that your mom is basically like, hey, I know that we killed your cat, but you came in a little bit too aggressive, so you're no longer welcome back. Like, your mom's such fat dicks, dude. Your mom sucks. I'm going to be real with you. If you need to hire somebody to come over, now I'm going to need some signed documentation. so that legally there's no liability held to me. But I would personally, I would slap your aunt. I would slap Daniela. The kids will not be slapped. I'm against that. I'm against, a lot of people, they were into hitting their kids. I was hit as a kid. I don't think it really did anything except make me hate the family members that were into hitting kids. And also, I'll slap her husband too. I'll slap the shit out of her husband. That's the one I'll feel the least bad about because he's a man. There's something that feels bad about slapping a woman. Can't say I've ever done it in my life. The men that I've slapped, the people that I've slapped have always been men, and it was more like we don't need to get into an actual fight. I don't need to like really really hurt you, but I need to send a shock into your temple that just like, hey, this is what we're doing now. Um, I'm probably I'm probably saying too much. I just listen. I had a roommate, when I first moved out of my parents' house, who he crossed a couple boundaries on certain things, and I slapped the shit out of him. Like I just randomly slapped the shit out of him. And if you knew the guy, and I don't want to go into it. I don't need to tell my life story here, but if you knew the guy, you would totally understand where I was coming from. He was an awful person. He eventually got kicked out after I moved. Because of him and his shit, my old roommate was like, dude, oh man, you were smart moving out. He kept little criminals around that would steal, but it is what it is. We don't need to get into it. But yeah, I'd feel a bit bad about slapping a woman. I can't say I've ever done it before. So I don't know how bad I would feel. It just kind of seems wrong. It feels wrong, but I'll slap a man. I'll slap the shit out of a man. And for this particular situation, I will slap the shit out of your cousin and aunt, both women. I'll do it if that's what you need, gladly. I'll be the asshole. You don't have to be the asshole in that situation. I'll be the asshole, and I'll make a little post like, "Am I the asshole for slapping the shit out of these three random strangers for killing a person that I didn't know's cat?" And they'd be like, "Oh, you're not even involved in the situation. Of course you're the asshole here." And I'll be like, "Well, whoopsie daisy," but I won't feel bad about it because I got to slap the shit out of these three people. Update. Thank you for the responses. This is all a bit overwhelming right now, and after this, I think I'm going to step away from this post. I've read all your comments and appreciate them. I do have a bit more information, and though it doesn't help, it does give some answers. First, wait, you're 22 and you couldn't just take the cats with you? Your mom refused to let you take the cat, and then she decided it would be an outside cat, and the cat is dead like a month later, or however long it had been. I fuck your mom, dude. Like, genuinely. Woo! All right. Daniela's oldest daughter is 11 and has a cell phone, so I texted her to apologize about losing it in front of her. From that, I found a few things out. Being rough with the cat really meant that the youngest, 4F, went to pick her up and button swatted at her. She didn't try again. Like I said, they are not bad kids. Okay, so the kids are innocent in this situation. I do remember reading the rough with the cat part, but who knows what that means with kids. Kids, they don't know how to pick up cats, and then they get swatted by the cat, and then why is the cat an asshole? And it's like, well, cats don't always like being picked up to begin with, but it is what it is. Though my mother is not a good person, she was under the impression that Buttons had run out the door when my aunt was coming in. According to my little cousin, she reacted the way she did because she thought it was an accident. However, she and my aunt are still talking about it now. I shouldn't have acted how I did, but they decided she was an outside cat. My aunt is the one who put Buttons outside, though Daniela was aware and agreed it was best. My aunt does not like animals and has never had a pet. She assumed that Buttons would be fine. So why the fuck, if somebody is moving into the house that doesn't like cats, why couldn't you just give the cat to your kid, man? I don't know. So that's it. Again, I appreciate all your comments, but it's just too much, and I'm going to step away. I'm going to speak with my therapist about going no contact with that side of the family, even if it's just temporary. Did people call you the asshole in this situation? I mean, maybe you just assumed that they made him an outside cat, but you kind of clarified, like, no, the aunt is the one that put Buttons outside, and Daniela thought it was okay. So, I don't know. Not the asshole. The kids will get over it. I'm sorry about your cat. That is absolutely awful. You are not the asshole. I think many people would react similarly. Your cousin killed your cat. There's no two ways about that. Cats don't belong outside. I don't give a damn what anyone else says. Unless that cat is a working farm cat, there's no reason for it to be outside without supervision. A lot of people agree with this, man. If you live in a city, what reason do you have to let your cat outside other than you don't want to clean a litter box? What's your cat going to do out there besides destroy local ecosystems? That's what cats do. They die and destroy local ecosystems. They're relatively useless outside, from what I understand. Now, I've had outside cats when I was a kid. As I got older and I read more research, I was like, cats really aren't good. Like, if you have a farm cat, that's a different story. But if you're in a city, there's lots of cars, there's lots of traffic, and there's really no reason for you to have an outside cat unless you don't want to clean up a litter box. But I did my research and I was like, that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that nobody should have an outside cat. But I'll bring up that research if they ever ask me. I'll be like, oh, there's plenty of research about how detrimental they are to local ecosystems and all that shit because they just, cats, they just be like that. And, the ecosystem might kill the cat. It is what it is. I don't know what kind of power play your mother was on when she didn't let you bring Buttons with you, but you have no reason to forgive her either. If she wasn't going to take care of the kitty, she shouldn't have kept her. I agree. Like, it seems like they don't even like the cat. Like, and they knew people were going to be moving into the house that don't like the cat. It doesn't make any sense. Again, I'm so sorry for your loss. Loving a beloved pet is never easy, and the cruelty and callousness from your cousin and mother helps pile into that. Your reaction is completely understandable, and I hope that you have someone you can rely on while you grieve. I would say that her reaction is not over the top, just like this person said. It's completely understandable because it seems like your family it cannot comprehend, or at least your mom's side of the family can't comprehend like that you are a human being that has feelings and emotions and shit. Like, it should be relatively simple. It was obvious that you liked the cat. It was obvious that the new aunt or whatever wasn't going to get along with the cat. It would have made more sense for her to take the cat. You kept the cat, and then not too long after the cat fucking died. So it's kind of like, what are we doing here? Let's go ahead and read somebody saying you're an asshole. I can't imagine there's too many of that. This is Reddit. Everyone loves those heckin' chonkers. I would have done more than scream. You're responsible for the cat. You don't leave your 10-year-old cat in a chaotic household with little children. No one looking out for her. Not your mother, not your aunt, your cousin. They don't care and will put it outside the first bad experience with children. A 10-year-old indoor cat will certainly not survive being suddenly put outside. I'm sorry for this, but sorry for the old cat being tossed outside like trash. Some cats, it was her mom. She wanted to take the cat. Her mom would not let her. Now, she could have stolen the cat. And who knows? I don't understand how that works. It sounds like the mom doesn't. The mom genuinely might have just called the cops and been like, "My daughter, she stole my cat." You never know. It kind of sounds like this mom doesn't even like her kids. But as far as her being responsible for the cat, it's. I don't know, man. Maybe if I was in that situation and I knew that they were going to do that, I would be. You best believe. But I can't imagine my mom ever doing something like that. I'm running in there and I'm yoinking the cat, sneaking it out. But then, who knows? Everyone sucks here except for the kids. Can you report them adults for animal cruelty? The kids were rough with the cat. They weren't rough enough. They weren't rough enough for all that. You were 22, a young adult, but adult nonetheless. You're the asshole for screaming about a dead cat in front of children, regardless of what else was going on. Of course they didn't know. You had just found out the cat dead. You just found the cat dead by the road. You're the asshole again for saying in front of them that your mom killed your cat, or their mom killed your cat. She did. You're old enough to realize and take into consideration how young these kids are, and to recognize that adult conflicts, rages, and trauma shouldn't be acted out in front of children. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I disagree. I'm going to tell you right now. You do something to one of my animals, I don't care if your kids are around. Like, if you're watching a family member or not, you watch one of my animals and I come back and the animal is dead, you best believe I don't care if your two little 3-year-old children are there. I'm going to be like, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. I'm going to slap the shit out of you. I'm going to slap the shit out of you. And it sucks that your kids are going to have to see that, but that's what happens when your parents are scumbags. Your mom's an asshole for not letting you take her if it was indeed your cat and not a family cat. Either way, it obviously wasn't a family cat, right? She didn't care. She wanted to treat it like it was a family cat by not allowing the daughter to take it. But at the same time, it wasn't a family cat because it seems like she didn't seem to care too much about letting the cat outside and dying very quickly. Cut these people out of your life. I thought it would be a little bit harder to find people calling her the asshole, but there's these weird people who are like, oh, you should never do this in front of kids. And I agree with that. I don't think you should argue in front of kids, but I also believe that there's certain situations where it's like, what did you expect? Especially since she was talking about taking the cat with her when she moved. You said no. You said, no, the cat stays with me. And then a month later or so, the cat is dead. Like, of course you're going to get yelled at. Maybe she couldn't have done it in front of the kids. I don't know. Maybe it's a little hard. It's kind of hard when you see something die, especially so quickly. Like, hey, if I know that a cat died, if you give me a week before I see the person next, I might be a little bit more calm, right? Like if a cat dies and a week later I get to meet the person that killed the cat, and I might be a little bit more calm. But if I just walked in from seeing my dead cat or dog or whatever, and I know it's because you wouldn't let me take his ass, I don't have time to chill out. And I don't blame you. Let that shit out. I don't think it would be good to hold that in right there. You need to let that out. Everyone sucks here. You should have fought harder to have your cat with you. You are a legal adult, and your asshole mother shouldn't have a say on what you can or can't do anymore. But if it was a family cat, this is what I understand what people are saying, because I think of it from my perspective, and I think like if the cat is going to be an outside cat, the cat is 10 years old. It doesn't need to transition into being an outside cat right now. She's coming with me. That would be the deal. Sorry, mom, she's coming with me. But if it's like a family cat and like the mom is like, no, the cat belongs to the family. It's like how much can you get away with? Can you just take the cat? I don't think you can. So your mom claims she wasn't aware that your aunt and cousin decided to pick out the poor senior kitty outside. Like she wanted the cat to stay at her place, and then suddenly she isn't anywhere in the house she doesn't notice. Stop being a pushover. They killed your cat, and you're worried about making a scene in front of some fucking kid. Hey, this is all over the place. Traumatizing kids is unnecessarily is automatically bad. The response arose from sudden acute trauma and from an unforgivable act. It also serves to show the kids what a piece of shit thing that was to do, and their mom for doing it. I'm sure the second part will be met with disapproval. In my view, however, sometimes compassion has to be learned from emotional consequences after being desensitized or taught that it's okay to do uncompassionate things. Due to these mitigating factors, I'm on team not the asshole. And she did do a follow-up saying that she texted the kid, who can text now, and said, hey, I'm sorry for blowing up, like I didn't want to blah blah blah. So it's like, okay. But hey man, emotions are high at the moment. You best believe I'm going against the popular opinion here. She was absolutely wrong to let the cat outside, and I do think you should have confronted her. I don't think the children needed to be exposed to it. It sounds pretty traumatizing for the children. Well, those children got a lot going on, because apparently after a divorce, her cousin and her aunt and her mom are all living in the same house with the husband and 2 kids and a cat, and it's like, what is going on with this situation? You're the asshole, but it's okay. Sometimes we lose control in the face of a crisis. If you had just discovered your cat died for a good reason, it's allowed. I don't think you need to apologize. I'm so sorry for you and your kitty. You know, I can accept this. I don't know why this one's so downvoted. Like, I could accept this one being neutral, because you're saying, like, you're an asshole for being mean in front of the kids, but totally understandable. This goes back to what I was saying about being able to slap the shit out of your 3 family members. Sure, everyone would be like, you're an asshole, you should never resort to something like that, something that could be talked about. But at the end of the day, it would feel really good to slap the shit out of these 3 people. And I don't even think the husband was necessarily directly involved. It seemed more like the aunt and the cousin were. I kind of threw the husband in so I wouldn't be slapping 2 women. You know, I got a clean record here. I want to even it out a little bit. Like 1 man per 2 women, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm going to get in trouble for this shit. But like I said, you're already harming my record here of never slapping a woman. By just throwing 2 at me. 2 that are very slappable. I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments like, there's never a reason to ever slap a person. And it's like, well, there's some reasons. I can think of 1 reason. And that's killing the family cat. I would have been on the 5 o'clock news. Sorry about your kitty. The kids will get over it. Here in the UK, I don't know a single cat that is an indoor cat. Everyone I know with a cat lets them go out and whenever I've had alcohol. However, I know America's a bit different, and the cousin is absolutely an asshole. I'm no longer replying or reading messages in response to this. It's just turned into a massive shitstorm, mostly from American Redditors who are keeping cats inside as the norm. I live in the UK. It's the norm to let cats outside after they've been neutered. We keep our cats vaccinated, treat them for fleas, and we don't have to worry about predators. No one is going to change my mind. I'm probably not going to change any American's mind on this topic. Yeah, fair enough. A lot of people in the UK don't care about their cat safety. I don't know, man. Maybe there are no natural predators there. I think it has to do with, you know what? Why shouldn't what? College athletes be paid? That's not what I'm trying to look up here. You have outside cats. Allowing your cat to roam freely outdoors comes with risks. When outside, cats face dangers such as being hit by a car, being harmed by another animal or person, contracting certain... What the fuck? Gay. Additionally, your cat may cause conflicts with your neighbors and injure or kill wildlife. Approximately 71% of the estimated 80 million pet cats in the U.S. are kept indoors. How do we solve cat overpopulation? Ooh, here we go. You guys can't even see this, so I'm just going to slide this over here. Outdoor cats face many risks, including disease, parasites, injury, or death. Wildlife. Cats are invasive predators that can injure or kill wildlife, including small prey animals like songbirds. The American Bird Conservancy says that outdoor cats have contributed to the extinction of 63 species of birds, mammals, and reptiles. Neighbors. Cats can cause conflict with neighbors. Cats can wander off and get lost. Cats can get permanently separated from their owners. Let's move this back over here. If you have a companion animal, take care of your companion animal. I was kind of hoping that this would be more of somebody talking about like how bad they are for the environment there. But yeah, they're little killers, man. They put like 63 birds on the extinction list, and reptiles, and small mammals. They really just be killing shit. Trust me, I know this because when I was a kid and we had outside cats, they would just bring all kinds of shit to the door, and I'd be like, "Oh, that was probably a cute bird at one point, you little asshole." But like making a species extinct is whew, that's a doozy. That is a doozy. Yeah, I would just like to slap your family. Just those three mainly. Even the husband that's not involved. The kids, of course, they will not be smacked. Oh no, I do have three. Oh no, I forgot. I have to slap your mom too. I have to slap your mom, your aunt, your cousin. And the husband is involved. I don't know. It's looking rough. It's looking real rough for me. Whew. I'm sorry about your cat. I don't think you're the asshole here. A lot of people will think you're the asshole, and I think they'll probably make a rational reason, like, "Oh, you shouldn't yell in front of kids." It's traumatizing for kids. I get that, but I'm biased here in this situation. Because I like animals, so it happens. I feel the same way if you if you let my child outside and it was hit by a car. I know there's gonna be people who are like, would you be this upset? Like, you're not gonna let my wife outside and she's gonna get hit by a car. She's a grown human woman who can do whatever she wants. You know what I mean? Like she's driving out there. Women these days with their rights and stuff. But like, if you were to, it's like if you let my kid out, which I don't know why you would ever do that. Just like, yeah, I just let him out the front door. I thought he was an outside kid. And he got hit by a car immediately. Now, granted, kids are different because they're not cats, but you get the idea, man. Just keep the fucking cat inside, man. Get me heated.